Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And yes, you are correct. I have not posted videos in a while because I've been on vacation. My wife and I, for our 30th anniversary, decided to take a trip down to San Diego, California, and spend a week down there. And we had a blast. Our anniversary was earlier in the year, but this was the first chance that my wife was able to take time off so we could go and celebrate properly. So did a lot of fun stuff down there. Nothing gaming related. This was all about me putting my focus on my wife and our anniversary, thing, and just having a good time, relaxing, eating good food, seeing the sights, all that stuff. So yes, no posting. I didn't do any of that stuff. But back from vacation now. My wife still has a couple of days off of her vacation left, so we're going to be doing some stuff here locally and everything. So I won't be posting. I'll probably do this video, and then once she goes back to work, then I'll start up like a regular schedule again. But I wanted to post this one because someone actually asked on on my last video where I was, because I haven't posted in like almost 2 weeks. So there you go. So while I have you here, there is a topic regarding Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition that is in the news. This product right here. This is I got this just before I went on vacation. This is the SpellJammer Adventures in Space. This is the alternative cover of the box set. I got that just before I went on vacation, and I just read yesterday, I think it was, there's some controversy about it already, that there apparently is a race of creatures in this particular product that Wizards of the Coast has now deemed as troublesome, and in that it could be offensive to some people for whatever reason. Now, part of it is the language that they use about, I think it's the Hadozan or something like that, they're basically a primate / squirrel type hybrid creature. And part of the problem is, I guess, is the language that's used to describe them in here is the fact that they were enslaved or something like that. And so Wizards of the Coast, bottom line, has done a mea culpa memo that they put out, letter that they put out, and they're taking the artwork and changing the language in the digital versions to something different. And then any reprints of this will have that stuff omitted or changed or whatever. So that is a topic of the last couple of days, and I wanted to chime in on it. So it's concerning to me from one particular aspect. This is a fantasy setting. This is not real life. This place doesn't exist. Forgotten Realms, SpellJammer, Greyhawk, none of that shit exists. It's all fantasy. Just like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, none of that shit exists. Nor will it ever exist. So, when you're talking about creative license for people to write topics and plot points and whatever, creatures and NPCs, whatever, the social norms for our society don't necessarily translate to a fictional society or a fictional place. And I think that is part of what's going on here. That Hadozan, or whatever they're called, they don't exist. They're not real. They're in the fantasy world here, and anything that happened to them is fantasy. So, what Wizards of the Coast is doing here is basically saying you cannot use the trope of slavery in any way, shape, or form in fantasy worlds. In their opinion, you can't use it in any fantasy worlds whatsoever. That's being taken off the table. And there are all kinds of tropes that go on in fictional worlds and fictional writing. You've got the rescue. Someone needs to be rescued, whoever it may be, and there's a group that needs to do the rescuing. That's a trope. You have a trope of there's a village that is in danger to a marauding group, and someone needs to save the village or protect the village, and go after the marauders and so forth. You have the revenge trope, where somebody has been wronged, somebody in their family has been killed, or some other act has been done to their family, and the revenge trope enters. The slavery idea, the trope of slavery in fantasy worlds is well documented. So, are they saying that, in their opinion, is Wizards of the Coast saying that anything affiliated with them going forward will never have any mention of that ever again, even though it's a well-founded trope in throughout literature? So evil people do evil shit, and slavery is evil shit. So are they that's just being taken off the table? So murder mysteries. Murder could trigger certain people in the real world here. Just the idea of someone getting murdered could trigger somebody, and them reading a story about it or whatever. So does that need to be cleansed going forward? No mentions of murders going forward at all. I mean, you can't use that as a murder mystery. You can't have a murder mystery anymore because you can't have murder anymore. So I just see it as overcompensation is what I see it as. That's just my opinion. I think it's overcompensation. I think that fantasy is fantasy and real life is real life. And if you start handcuffing creative people to create stories and plots and characters and so forth and so on, you're going to start having limited avenues for creativity going forward. But that's their choice. This is their product. They own everything about this. So they can do anything they want to do. They could completely pull all these off the shelf. They could do what they did with the E.T. Video game back for the Atari 2600 and go take them out in the desert and bury all of them. They can have a bonfire. They can never print them again, whatever. That's their choice. It's their stuff. So they have the right to do that. I'm just saying, I think that it's a dangerous path to go down to start literally censoring entire tropes of, content. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. There's from 2nd edition D&D, there was an entire series of modules called the Slavers modules, and it's called, the first one was Slavers of the Undercity, and in the Scourge of the Scourge of the Slave Lords, and so forth and so on. There's an entire series, and that's the background of the heroes have to go and stop the slavery. So it's a thing, and the heroes get the chance to do the good thing, to stop the bad thing. So, I don't know. Again, just my 2 cents. I figured I'd take that opportunity to show. I mean, this, and by the way, this is beautiful artwork. I mean, everything else aside, that is, you got Boo here, right there. You got the space hamster. Minsk isn't on there, but and then there's the back, and it's a beautiful product. And I ordered another one with the regular covers, because I don't want to open this. This is going to be my collector's item here. So I ordered another one, and that one will be the one I'll read and so forth and so on. So and I don't even play 5th edition right now. So I just have this stuff so that if I ever down the road, for whatever reason, decide to start a 5th edition campaign or whatever, I have all my source material. So anyway, guys, that's what I've been up to. A couple more days for the wife before she goes back to work. So we'll be doing some more stuff, and then I'll try and start getting back into a rotation of my regular content and all that. Summer's over. By the way, if you're keeping tally, because I know I am, I have this summer, between the trip I took with my buddy back all the way back to Pennsylvania, and then I had to drive myself back. I had to get a rental car and drive myself back. This summer, I have traveled by car approximately 5,128 miles by car this summer. And of that, I personally have driven 3,284, approximately 3,200 miles, 3,300 miles that I have personally been behind the wheel. That's a lot of driving. That's a lot of driving. That's a lot of riding in vehicles. And don't get me wrong, I love road trips, but even for me, this summer has been a lot of vehicular transport, if you will. So anyway, guys, until next time, I will catch you on the flip side.